Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to the Q3 FY21-22 earnings conference call of INEOS Styrolution India Limited. We have with us today from the management of INEOS Styrolution India Limited, Sanjeev Vasudeva, Managing Director, Sanjeev Madan, Director Finance, Amita Mistry, Litigation and Secretarial Officer, Abhijat Sinha, Company Secretary and Head Legal India. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star, then 0 on your touchtone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Sanjeev Madan. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Good evening, dear shareholders, investors, and analyst fraternity. We welcome you to this earnings call. Your company, INEOS Styrolution India Limited, has declared its results for third quarter and 9 months ended December 31st, 2021 on 9th February 2022. We will brief you about the major highlights of the performance. First, regarding the quarterly performance, revenue net of GST from operations in current quarter is INR 31,191 lakhs as compared to INR 48,483 lakhs in October to December 20 and INR 58,840 lakhs in previous quarter. Profit before tax in current quarter stands at INR 7,343 lakhs as compared to INR 13,526 lakhs in October to December 20 and INR 12,061 lakhs in previous quarter. Now regarding year-to-date performance, revenue net of GST from operations stands at INR 1,55,511 lakhs in YTD December 21 as compared to INR 99,494 lakhs in YTD December 20. Profit before tax in YTD December 2021 stands at INR 31,248 lakhs as compared to profit of INR 15,962 lakhs in YTD December 20. Regarding quarterly segment performance, first specialties, profit before interest, tax and other unallocable expenditures stands at INR 5,645 lakhs in current quarter as compared to INR 8,961 lakhs in previous quarter. Polystyrene profit before interest, tax and other unallocable expenditure is INR 1,843 lakhs in current quarter as compared to INR 2,999 lakhs in previous quarter. In earlier year, the company had incurred certain expenses aggregating to rupees 2,820 lakhs, including applicable taxes towards engineering studies and other directly and indirectly attributable costs for project extension and included in capital work in progress as at 30th September 2021. In the current quarter, considering the existing available production capacity, business priorities and the continuing effects of COVID-19 pandemic, the continuation of the said project is uncertain. Hence, the company has written off capital work in progress of the said project and is included in other expenses. So this is all about the clarification and details about our financials. Now we can go forward for the queries or if any clarifications required or which are needed. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on their touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. A reminder to the participants, anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 now. The first question is from the line of Hemant Gupta, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks very much. Congratulations for this result. My question was like, what part of raw materials of INEOS India are procured from INEOS worldwide? And is there any specific trend around that? Thank you.
Hi, thank you. This is Sanjeev Vasudeva. Thanks for the question. So we procure acrylonitrile from INEOS nitrile. It is one of the raw materials that we use, and we have another supplier for acrylonitrile, being side INEOS nitrile. We have multiple suppliers here for AN.
Thank you.
Thank you. A reminder to the participants, anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 at this time. The next question is from the line of Lakshmi Narayan from ICICI Mutual Fund. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. A couple of things. I just want to understand the demand supply scenario of our key products right now. There was, one of the players actually had to leave the market because of some accident earlier. Subsequently, there are a lot of disruption the value chain also. So can you just elaborate in terms of the broad outlook on the demand supply for India? There are some imports also, so that will be helpful.
Are you talking about polystyrene only?
Yeah, polystyrene to start with.
Okay, so polystyrene, India has sufficient capacity. There are still some imports coming from Iran and from the rest of Asia, but it's a relatively smaller quantity.
Okay. And what about ABS?
ABS side, the capacity in India is the demand is more than the capacity. Hence, you have relatively larger imports coming from Asia and Middle East.
Can you just give me the approximate, in terms of tons, how much is the demand, how is it growing, and in particular, what has happened in the last 2-3 years?
Yeah, sure. I think overall, it depends, which data we refer to, but based on the public data in public domain from published by CPMA, if I remember correctly, about 2 years back, ABS was about 270,000 tons, 270 to 80,000 tons, and apparently in we don't have 21 final numbers, but 2020 because of COVID, the demand dropped by nearly 25% or so, 25 to 30%, more like 220,000 tons. Yeah. Last year again has been pretty similar, maybe 5-10% kind of, not even 5% kind of a growth. Yeah. But we have seen a bit of higher imports into India in 2021. We expect ABS to kind of come back to a 10% growth level from this year. That would basically mean getting back to the 270 to 80 KT kind of a number. In terms of imports, the imports are to the tune of about 100,000 tons. Yeah.
Okay. And in terms of our capacity, right? Can you just talk a bit more about our capacity and because I think there are at some point in time we were actually adding some capacity either on compacting or something, right? Sorry if I'm wrong.
We added about 2 years back. We added about a year and a half back capacity in the compounding. Earlier we had about 65 KT. Now we have about 100 KT, 100,000 tons capacity to make ABS finished goods. Yeah. That expansion has already taken place. It got operational in December 2020. Yeah. We did not utilize that asset completely.
Mm-hmm. So the demand of 270,000 tons, right? So our cumulative capacity will be around 100,000 tons. I mean, what's the kind of total capacity we have, and how do we plan to increase our capacity in ABS since demand is higher domestically?
So like I said, we have about 100,000 tons, right? And then, we have to pick and choose, which battles to fight. We need not go for every single kg, yeah? Because a lot of imports which comes are also lower end kind of imports, right? Which relatively do not have greater pricing or margins, yeah? So we prefer not to participate in the complete, in the complete overall volume, yeah? At the appropriate time, we'll look at the decision of adding new capacity. I think we are going through still going through a COVID phase, and we'll see what's the appropriate time to, add capacity going forward.
Mm-hmm. And I think polystyrene demand was around 250,000 tons, if I'm not wrong. Right?
No, you're absolutely correct.
And I mean, how that actually panned out in the last, I remember that it was down by around 25%. How is it shaping up in terms of demand in the polystyrene side?
We again see an uptake in demand, yeah, in polystyrene, and not to the same extent as ABS. I would say polystyrene would be more like 5% kind of a growth. That would be my assumption. What we are seeing, quarter over quarter, the demand is kind of coming back, right, as COVID is deciding.
Okay. And one of the players who had 70,000 tons going away, right? How that has actually benefited us?
So, surely our pricing power gets better, right? Because, it balances the supply-demand situation, yeah. Overall, some of the OEMs that you have in India would always prefer a local supplier rather than banking on imports. So, so the local players, not just us, we have other local players as well, do get an advantage over imports because, for the OEMs, they prefer local supply.
Got it. And if I just look at your segment results, right? It is down, driven by what are the key reasons you attribute it to, and how do you think where it will settle in terms of margins for industry economy?
But we are still having healthy margins, yeah. And polystyrene in particular, in terms of segments, we had a statutory shutdown which we had to take every 5 years. Yeah, it was a prolonged shutdown, and it's I think we've also put it in the investor presentation. We have to do it every 5 years. It's cleaning of all the styrene tanks and all. Yeah, I think that's the issue which happened with the competitor as well, as you will know. So that was an important exercise, because of which we also lost quite some volume last quarter, which hence you see negative numbers for polystyrene versus specialty. Yeah, and directionally we think that polystyrene should be coming back going forward. Yeah, like I mentioned earlier.
Got it. And what kind of capital expenditure outlay you have planned in mind?
Sorry, we could not hear you.
No, my question is that over the next 3-4 years, what kind of capital expenditure you intend to do, if any?
Well, as and when we make those decisions, we'll let the shareholders know. Thank you.
Okay, my question is that, right? You are almost sold out on your capacity, or you are still having room to grow there?
We have sufficient capacity in polystyrene, and we do have some capacity in ABS as well.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, as there are no further questions, I now hand the conference over to Mr. Abhijat Sinha for closing comments. Over to you, sir.
So, thank you everybody for showing your interest in the company. We thank you for participating in the call, and we look forward to seeing you in the next quarterly call, which will be somewhere around May 2022. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of INEOS Styrolution India Limited, that concludes this conference. We thank you all for joining us, and you may now disconnect your lines.